Chapter 85. Listen and repeat. Conversation. He asked, "What time does the show begin?" "What time does the show begin?" he asked. She asked, "How much does this dress cost?" "How much does this dress cost?" she asked. What did he ask? He asked where he could find some envelopes. What did she ask? She asked why I was leaving early. What did he ask? He asked where I'd put the stapler. What did they ask? They asked when I was starting my new job. What did she ask? She asked who I was talking to. What did they ask? They asked what I'd seen. What did he ask? He asked which of these books I'd read. What did she ask? She asked what the children had been doing. He asked, "Did you look at this letter?" He asked whether I'd looked at that letter. She asked, "Have you finished Unit 4?" She asked whether we'd finished Unit 4. He asked, "Does this bus go down Birchwood Avenue?" He asked whether that bus went down Birchwood Avenue. She asked, "Have you finished with the comic strips?" She asked whether I'd finished with the comic strips. She asked if I'd had a good time on my holiday. She asked whether I'd had a good time on my holiday. He asked if the post had come yet. He asked whether the post had come yet. They asked if they were going to have another exam. They asked whether they were going to have another exam. I asked if I could take a day off on Tuesday. I asked whether I could take a day off on Tuesday. What did he ask? He asked whether or not I could type those letters for him. What did she ask? She asked whether or not I'd be back on Wednesday. What did she ask? She asked whether or not I was interested in astrology. What did he ask? He asked whether or not I'd ever studied astronomy. Vocabulary. Annoyed, adjective. Astrology, astronomy. Badly, boulder, crew. Dangerously, dynamite. Foreman, hard hat, familiar. Helmet, right of way. Rope, sight. Slight, adjective. Soil, stapler. Surface. Verbs. To be annoyed, about/at something, with someone. To blast. To come over. To doubt, whether, that. To get off. To inquire. To make sure. To rope off. To wonder. Proper name. Tony, diminutive of Anthony/Antony. To wonder. The verb to wonder has two main meanings, each with different constructions. Meaning, to be surprised/amazed. When to wonder means to be surprised, it can be followed by at plus noun or ing form, a that clause, to plus infinitive. Examples. I wondered at her courage. They wondered that he didn't say anything. She wondered to hear the news. Meaning, to ask oneself/to be curious. When to wonder means to ask oneself, it is normally followed by an indirect question introduced by if or a WH word, what, where, why, how, etc. Examples. I wonder what the time is. She wondered if he would come. We wondered why they were so late. Idiomatic and fixed expressions. I wonder. Example. I wonder what will happen. Where shall I be next year, I wonder? It's not to be wondered at. Dialogue. Tony Orton is talking to the foreman of the construction crew. The foreman is the boss of the workers on the construction site. Foreman. We've run into a slight problem. Tony. What is it? Foreman. There's a big boulder in the middle of the right-of-way. Tony. How far under the surface is it? Foreman. It's about 5 feet down. Tony, and the bulldozers can't move it? Foreman, it's the size of a house, a big house, not a small one. Tony, right. We'll have to blast it out of the way. The gentlemen in the office are going to be very annoyed. This will mean another day's delay. Foreman, maybe they'll learn to take more soil samples one of these days. Tony, go ahead and rope off the area. I'll have to telephone for some dynamite. And make sure that your men wear their hard hats. Foreman, yes, you too. Tony, don't worry, I'll put it on as soon as I make this call. I don't want to live dangerously. Foreman, I'll be sitting on top of our rock. Tony, I'll come over and take a look in a couple of minutes. Notes. Note 1. The expression right of way originally meant the right to pass through someone else's property. In modern English, it can also mean a strip of land reserved for building a road. Note 2. The expression out of the way often means away or removed. We'll have to blast it out of the way equals we'll have to remove it by blasting. Note 3. In English, after to come and to go, especially in the imperative or future tense, coordination with and is preferred instead of the infinitive. Go ahead and rope off the area. Grammar. Indirect yes/no questions. Is dinner ready yet? Bill asked. Bill asked whether/if dinner was ready yet. Are you going on strike? She asked her husband. She asked her husband whether/if he was going on strike. Have you seen the boss? Mr. Clark asked me. Mr. Clark asked me whether/if I had seen the boss. Mr. Clark asked me whether or not I had seen the boss. Whether/if I had seen the boss or not. Explanation. In English, when transforming a yes/no question into an indirect question, it must be introduced by the conjunction whether or if. In indirect questions, the word order becomes subject plus verb plus complements, not inverted. The expression or not can appear after whether or at the end of the sentence. After if, it can only appear at the end. It is also possible to report short answers indirectly, using the same auxiliary verb adapted to the past tense. Example. He said, "Do you like ice creams?" She said, "Yes, I do." He asked her if she liked ice creams, and she said that she did. Grammar. Indirect speech. Questions. She said, "How did you enjoy the show?" She asked me how I had enjoyed the show. "How did you enjoy the show?" she asked. She asked me how I had enjoyed the show. "Whose notebook is this?" the teacher asked. The teacher asked whose notebook that was. "When will you know the result of your test?" I asked Diane. I asked Diane when she would know the result of her test. Explanation. In English, it is possible to turn both yes/no questions and WH- questions into indirect speech. When the reporting verb is to say, which is uncommon in questions, it must be replaced by another question verb, such as to ask, to inquire, to want to know, to wonder, etc. Even to ask and to inquire can appear in direct speech, but preferably at the end of the sentence. In indirect questions, the word order changes to the affirmative structure, subject, verb, object, and the question mark is omitted. Tenses, pronouns, and possessives are changed according to the usual rules of indirect speech. However, no tense change occurs when the question refers to a general or still valid fact, even if the reporting verb is in the past tense. Examples. The teacher said that water freezes when the temperature falls below 0 degrees Celsius. He asked John what time the show begins. Equals, the show hasn't begun yet.